So we just finished up Thanksgiving. We're racing into Christmas, and I'm feeling a little behind. But I wanted to pull out my holiday palettes that I plan on using this holiday season and share them with you. Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Melissa, and first I'm going to kick off this video with a quick little tutorial of this eye look using a palette that I haven't really used yet on my channel, and it's from Bobbi Brown. It's Ultraviolet Eyeshadow Palette. So I'm going to show you how I got this look, and then at the end I'm going to share with you palettes that I pulled from my stash, because I'm shopping my stash all the time. And these are palettes that I plan on using throughout the holiday season, pulling together some looks. And as I hold them up, if there's any one in particular that you would like to see a look with, go ahead and leave me a comment below, and I will try to work that into my schedule, which is very tight at the end of the year here, and do a quick little holiday look just for you. So leave me a little comment which palette you would be most interested in seeing a holiday look from, because you know I'm digging this voting thing. Okay, let's get into it. So I already put on my foundation. I'm using the Kosas Tinted Face Oil in the shade, what shade is this? 03. I'm still not sure how I feel about this. I think it has a lot to do with my skin itself. My skin is a whole nother story at the moment, and part of it I think is I upped my formula for Curology, and I am getting a little peeling. I may have crossed the threshold with the amount of tretinoin that's in my formula, so I'm playing around with not using it every day, trying to get some of that peeliness down a little bit. I actually did a face mask this morning with, it's like a moisturizing face mask. It's the Avocado Melt Sleeping Mask from Glow Recipe. And I don't like it for putting on at night. It's very thick. But sometimes when I get up in the morning and I want to like give my skin a little drink, I'll put that on. Maybe I'll go down and have some coffee, or I'll do some little chores that I have up here, and then I'll take it off, and it is very moisturizing. Too heavy to sleep in. I feel like I'm just going to get it all over my sheets. That's what I have on my face, and then I also primed my lids with this little Bobbi Brown Longwear Cream Shadow in the color Shore. I'm trying to use this up. It's getting quite dry. I also put some of this Sephora powder. Let's move that out of the way. Some of this Sephora powder foundation over the Kosas. I just feel like it needs a little set and maybe a little bit more coverage. Like I said, I'm still not sure how I feel about that foundation. Okay, today we're just going to play with some new makeup. Well, it's not really new. This is the Ultraviolet Eyeshadow Palette from Bobbi Brown. And a very dear friend of mine passed it along to me because I mentioned it in one of my videos, and I haven't really used it yet, and I want to use it because I'm pulling out my holiday palettes, and I'm going to include this one in it. I've already swatched these because sometimes you have to do a little swatching to get familiar with what shadows, how intense the shadows are, what the colors are, that kind of thing. This was a limited edition holiday palette last year. So I'm going to go in with this lightest shade. It is a little shimmery, but I'm going to go ahead and put that on a fluffy brush and just kind of zhuzh it in my crease a little bit. It almost looks like nothing, which is okay. It's laying a good foundation. And then I'm going to go in the lightest shade and put that under my brow bone. It's very dark and dreary here today. So now I'm going to go into this brown, which looks kind of dark. Testing it, it looked like it was going to be a great crease shade. You know, sometimes colors are very deceiving in the palette. I like that. It's very, very natural. Those three basic colors are good foundation for some of the more colorful aspects in this palette. So I'm going to go ahead and use this on the mobile part of my lid, and then I'm probably going to use this in the crease a little bit more. But I'm going to start putting this shade in. It's a little bit of like a shiny duochrome. It almost looks like a little brown with like a purplish duochrome in it, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to grab my favorite brush for applying shadow on the mobile part of my lid. It's this one from Smashbox that has no name, no number, and I've had it forever. So one of my things I want to do for next year is source a brush just like this, because I think it's essential, and it's a very specific kind of brush, and maybe a few others like that I think you all might enjoy. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this on the mobile part of my lid, and it's pretty sheer actually. I thought it would have a little bit more impact. This is giving off a very like monochrome vibe, you know, what I have going on already. So I'm definitely going to jazz that up a little bit. And I'm going to go into this dark purple color right here. So I'm putting it like deep into my crease. But because I have hooded eyes, I want to then bring it up a little bit using some circular motions, like blend it up into that brown that I put on, just to not totally cover up the brown, but just kind of blend it into the brown. And it's the kind of thing where you have to do a little, look a little, and make sure you're not overdoing. There's just definitely a fine line. I always get to this point and I'm like, I feel like I have more color over here than I do over here. So I'm going to add a little more here. Then I'm going to take my favorite fluffy brush and just blend, just kind of blend a little bit around the edges. I think I want like the lid part to be a little brighter. So I'm going to go in with this shade over the mobile part of my lid. You know, sometimes you do stuff and you're like, I'm not sure, but I'm going to start with in the inner corner of my eye in case I want to like just stop part way and just keep that brightness. Now I am going to put a little concealer on. I don't use concealer every day. However, when I'm doing like a darker eye, like with a little bit more color, I don't want it to like give the appearance of any under eye circles. So I'm going in with my Fenty, and honestly, not a lot. I'm going to do that. I'm going to blend it around with like a little brush. This is the e.l.f. Flawless Concealer Brush, which I rather like. And I am going to top it with a little eye cream. I'm really digging this Kiehl's Creamy Eye Treatment with Avocado. I'm just going to take a little dot in each place and just pat it on. I just like doing this. I feel like concealer can feel very drying and look very drying under my eyes, and I know this thins it out a little bit, but I'm okay with that. Alright, and I might just do a little of this. I'm going to let that set a little bit, and I'm going to go in with a little blush. I'm going to use this Bobbi Brown Shimmer Brick in the shade Rosé. I like this because it's pretty sheer. It's got a little built-in sparkle because, you know, this is kind of a big eye look. I just want this to be kind of a little subtle. But I'm also going to go in and use a little bit of my favorite highlighter from Laura Mercier. I talk about this all the time. It is one of my favorites. Now I'm going to quickly finish up my eyes, and I have to also decide what I'm wearing on my lips. So this is from Marc Jacobs. It's the Vinyl Dream. It's kind of a purpley shade, but I'm going to blot this down and maybe add a little lip gloss to it. Let's finish up the eye, and then we'll finish up the lip. I'm going to go back to this dark purple part and bring that under my lower lash line. Just smudge it out a little bit. I like that. But I do feel like this is one of those looks that needs to be anchored with a tight line. I don't know if you can see the difference. I'm going to go in tight. I tight lined this one. I just think these colors can really make your eye look a little, the only word I can think of is like sick, but not really, just like a little, like it needs that extra definition, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and share with you some palettes that I'm pulling out for holiday, like festive looks that I want to be able to use this month. We're just starting to kick off the beginning of December. Oh my gosh, there's so little time, I feel like, since Thanksgiving and Christmas this year. Anyway, so I thought I would share them with you, and this is one look that I think is rather pretty. So I've shot my stash. Not everything I'm showing you is going to be available, but if it is, I'm going to include a link down below so you can click on it if you're interested. If you're not interested, they are affiliate links, and I earn a very small commission from them. But it does help support my channel at no additional cost to you. The first one is the one I've used in today's video. It's the Bobbi Brown Ultraviolet Eyeshadow Palette, and it was limited edition last year. I think it's beautiful, and I can really see after playing around with it that this could actually be, you know, a daytime look and a nighttime look. This shade here definitely comes off much more neutral than than some of the other ones do, and there's some good, some really good basic shades for crease work and highlighting under the brow bone, and also for darkening around the eyelid. So I think this is really a solid palette. In terms of the rest of these palettes, some of these you've probably already seen, but I'm shopping my stash, and these are ones that I'm bringing back out to use. This next one is from Dominique Cosmetics. It's the Latte palette. I think this is such a fun, beautiful palette, and you know, there's the two splashes of color here and here, but these are very festive neutrals. So I think those are great if you really want to do a very pretty neutral look, but it also has some nice mattes. It is a little on the warm side for me, but there's enough balance here for me. The next one I'm going to pull out, which I have had tucked away for quite a while. You know how much I love this palette. It is the Sultry palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Oh, there's so much goodness in this palette. I'm excited to play with this again. There are a lot of neutrals in this as well, but it's such a great palette, and as I've mentioned before, this little shade is everything. I'm going to go ahead and include a link to the video I did on this palette where I had multiple looks, showed you how I used it, and just shared the love on that in case you own it and you want some inspiration. The next one is from Tarte. It's the Tartist Pro palette, this Amazonian clay palette. It's this big square one. And what I love about this palette, again, I'm holding it upside down so I don't blind you with the mirror, although look, the packaging is blinding. So what I love about this palette is there's all these fun shades here to play with, and they are kind of coordinated by row, so it's kind of goof-proof. You can, you know, of course, mix and match throughout the palette, but it also helps guide you if you are a novice eyeshadow user. You can just kind of go across, and these three shades are really your basic eye look. This is a liner shade, and these are, of course, your fun, shimmery duochrome shades. This is a Hall of Fame palette for me. And the last one I'm going to pull out is from Pat McGrath. It's the Mothership. Yeah, it doesn't say which one it is. I'll include a link down below for this one, but this is what it looks like. There's some really pretty things going on in here. And some of them can be a little more subtle, some of them can be a little bit more bold. Absolutely, this blue is going to be a bold look, but this is like a little bit of a shimmery purple look. And let me just quickly swatch these three. So that obviously is the blue, this is the gold, and this is that shimmery purpley pink look. I think they are really gorgeous eyeshadows. And then there's some good, in this particular palette, there's some good crease colors, and there's a good under eyebrow, oh, why can't I speak today, a brow look. And also I like this purpley one too. You get a really pretty smoky purple look. This is one of those things. I paid a lot of money for this palette. They're stupidly expensive. And then I'm like, oh, you know, do I want to dig into this palette? Well, yeah, I do want to dig into this palette. I'm going to keep this one front and center because I haven't used it very much and I want to use it a whole lot. I upload videos every Saturday morning, and I'll include a link to last week's video right up here. And on this side, I'll have what YouTube calls best for viewer. It's based on their algorithm, and they'll select a video that they think you will enjoy. Thank you so much, and I'll see you real soon.